how are you today? It's Liz from Old Stables Crafts, Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK, working across all our European countries of France, Germany, Austria, the Netherlands, Belgium and Ireland. I think that's all of them. I think. So, how is everyone? I'm just going to check that I'm live. Yes, I am live. Always good to know. I've got a slightly different setup again today with the chat in bigger print. So I'm hoping I'll be able to read it easier. Today I am going to be using Silly Goose. Silly Goose comes in both photopolymer and in cling, so red rubber. And I thought I would do a bit of a compare and contrast and see if I have a preference between them. I may not. Who knows? Obviously photopolymer you can see through, so from a positioning point of view that's easier, but red rubber often gives a better result. So we'll see. Hello Gwen from North Carolina. I can see the chat. It's in huge letters. I found a setting where I can put the chat in huge letters. It means that everything else is smaller, but I can at least see the chat without having to go, what? Anyway, let me flip the camera down, which is also different this time, for me, not for you. I've got a transition screen now, so I can go, that is now what is live. And then I can set up ready to go back again. Hello, Deborah from Michigan. I'm now in the habit of leaning forwards. Hello, Kay, how are you? So yes, Silly Goose, you are not seeing double, you are seeing two. Hello, Linda from Oregon. Good morning. Hello, Sherry. How exciting to catch you live on a Thursday. You're home. Oh no, Sherry, no. I hope you're not feeling too unwell. That's rotten. I've had COVID more than once, and it's been different every time, but I hope you're not too unwell. Hello, Sherry with an IE from Western Oregon. It's raining in Western Oregon. Well, Linda is also from Oregon, so you can have a bit of a compare of a weather forecast. Our weather can't decide what it's doing today. We've had glorious sunshine. We now have rain. And I want to do a bit of gardening before the end of the day, and that will depend on whether it's raining. Hello, Claire. Attention, Liz. What attention? That's kind of feels weird. Oh yeah, I get that, Sherry. But at least it's mild symptoms, and yes, of course you don't want to pass it along. Yeah. I have to say, I've taken to the last few days, I'm sleeping in a separate bedroom from my husband because he's got a cold, and my last cold was worse than my last bout of COVID. So anyway, Silly Goose. So yes, we have red rubber, we've got photopolymer. Struggling with lots. Oh, okay, that's so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll try and get your mind off it. Hello, Claire. Drizzling in South Oregon. Okay, so Linda's got drizzle and Sherry has got rain. So anyway, right, now I've done a little bit of prep. In that I have done some die cutting and I've done some embossing, as in 3D embossing rather than heat embossing. But I thought we'd have some fun with Silly Goose, and I'm going to switch between the two. Let's see, which one shall I start with? So I've done this with the rain, except I probably put the pattern put the die cut at the wrong end, because that's kind of upside down raindrops. So that's going to have to go that way. Okay, so that I'm going to use for that stamp. So let's start with, this is Pool Party, and I put it through the acrylic paint 3D embossing folder. Hello, Shaz. I missed you. As in, I missed that you're here. Rain in Ontario as well. Yeah, I think it's just generally damp at the moment. So I'm going to start with this image here, and I'm going to go, no, I'm going to go I'm going to go red rubber for this one. I don't know why, but I am. I may well end up doing red rubber for everything apart from the sentiments. That's not really the idea. Right, okay, so I need some white card. This is where I discover this is my last sheet of white card that's in my drawers. I have more white card, fear not. And this will be more than enough white card for today. Right, so I'm going to take my memento and I'm going to use blends. Hello, Jane from sunny Georgia. Hello, Margaret from 2:06 a.m. Margaret, are you going to bed, or are you getting up, or have you just got insomnia? 2 in the morning, Sydney, Australia. You deserve a medal. Right, so I'm going to take the goose with the frog on its back. Now the goose is on a rubber ring, like an air ring. I don't know whether they're called rubber rings everywhere in the world, but one of those blowy up things that float. So I'm going to pick, I need obviously green for the frog, something loud. Oh, I'm going to use that. Right, so yes, definitely loud. So I'm going to go, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just do it. So we'll go there. We'll go, nope, not those ones. Anyway, those ones. We'll go there. And we'll go there. That should be all I need. So really bright, and it will make sense in a minute. So I've got light and dark parakeet party. Hello, Linda. Tube. Okay, you call them a tube. Oh, I've just realised one of my lights isn't on. Let's put another light on. Inflatable ring. Okay, yep. Say back in the day, we used to call it a rubber ring. It's not made of rubber, so why we would call it a rubber ring, I do not know. But there we go. So I'm just going to take the dark parakeet party and colour my frog. Now, geese, domestic geese are white. Obviously, there are Canada geese and all sorts of other geese. I'm just going to go for a basic domestic goose. So I'm not going to worry about colouring the goose per se. I will colour its beak, but that's basically all. Now, the colour of the ring will make sense in a bit, but in the meantime, you're going to think I'm totally mad. And I probably am. So I'm going to use dark polished pink. Now. I mentioned this on Tuesday, but I will mention it again. We have been advised that prices will be going up with the new catalogue. We've had a bit of a warning on that with the online exclusives. So we've also got the colour Refresh. So please. Oh, by the way, I'm not using the Pool Party 3D emboss bit now. I've changed my mind. So if there is anything you want, particularly if it is a colour thing, like card or blends or anything like that, please order it sooner rather than later. At the end of the month, we will know what's retiring and which colours are going and which new colours are coming in their place, or whether we've got any returning colours. This is where I'm about to go mad. I'm going to take Sweet Sorbet and use it with polished pink, because I want it to be bright, and it will make some sense in a moment. So yes, please order before the prices go up and before we sell out, because although we're going to have the retirement list on the 29th of March, which is next week, yes, the prices won't actually reduce until the 4th of April. You got booted out, Shaz? That's very rude of YouTube. Margaret's been asleep. Oh, no. Because I've taken the chat so large, I can't actually see. You've been awake a while and will watch a short time before returning to sleep. Fair enough. Hello, Mary from Montana. Kay's just ordered all the colours. Well done. This is Light Daffodil Delight. Yes. So yes, please, 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 please be sensible about ordering. If you want anything, do it now. We've got to have yellow flowers as well. So this is Dark Daffodil Delight. We are clearly not going for realistic here. This is a cartoon character, so let's not think of it as anything else. Light Parakeet Party. A lot of the re-inkers as colour families, which I thought we weren't doing anymore, but anyway, are low inventory. So please. Right, I'm going to take Light Daffodil Delight again for her hat. It's almost an Easter bonnet. And I think the ribbon, I'm going to go Light Sweet Sorbet. Right, okay, I'll probably need something for water, but I'll worry about that momentarily. And I've got out somewhere, Stylish Shapes and the Scalloped Contours, and I'm going to decide which to use. Haven't used. Could do that, and then I can put my sentiment up there. So let's do that. So I'm just going to hack this out, not with those scissors, but with those scissors. So tomorrow I am helping at a training session, which is going to be fun. So yes, busy day tomorrow. Hello Pam, only a little late, it's allowed. Hopefully this will fit through, just about. I do like to put these things through at a bit of an angle, so it's going to be a very, very slight angle by the look of it. Yep. Pull that one back a bit, put that one forward a bit. Right. I think I know what I'm doing with this card. Not convinced, but I think I do. Hello, Jan from A Wet and Windy Weekly. Yes. Jan lives, you've heard me say this a number of times, I'm sure. Jan lives just the other side of a hill from me. So not always, but often we have the same weather. The hill does make quite a difference to the weather. Because Oxfordshire is quite flat, that hill is one of the lumps that weather fronts hit. Is that an area training as opposed to a team training? It's something that the DDM is organising, so it's not team training, no. But yes, it's something that the DDM is organising for a specific group of people. Right, I have got, and this is where you may realise I'm not being quite so mad with the colours of the ring. I am going to grab something for the water. So let's go, let's make macaron, let's do pool party. I'm not going to colour all of it. I'm just going to kind of add some, bring it in here. There we go. Hello, Helen from Las Vegas. Right, card blanks. So half a sheet of basic white, bone folder. So I have already recorded, this is going to be a shock, I have already recorded my Simple Stamping Saturday video. I know! Stranger things have happened. So I'm going to add this without that little bit. I'm going to add this to my card base. Now, This edge here, I need to make sure I've got glue on. So, wish me luck, as they say. Because that is quite fine, and it's for an A6 card. It's not going to fall at a point that is on a line. Right, so that's that. Then I can add some glue to my card base. Just got to get rid of an update, which I don't really care about at the moment. Right, so I want it to be about there. And if I turn it over, I can then see if it's straight. It is! Hurrah! Right, so that's nicely stuck down, and then I can trim off. So just take my snips and let's open that up so I can see properly. So I was at the gym this morning, it being Thursday, 8 o'clock in the morning, and the trainer, good grief, we were all saying, she needs to try what she made us do. We were absolutely shattered by the end of it. If I can lift my arms above my waist tomorrow, I will be surprised. There was a lot of shoulder work. It was unspeakable. And for some reason I had a heavier weight than everybody else. I mean, I know the reason. It's because I've been doing it longer than most of the rest of them, so I've built up more muscle, but even so, I would have enjoyed it more had I had their weight, I think. But hey-ho. So yes, if I can move my arms tomorrow morning, I will be quite pleased. Fortunately, the training that I'm delivering, I can just stand and talk. Right, okay. I'm going to get my bone folder and just do a bit of that, so the glue is nicely spread. This is then going to go here so that we can still see this, and I am going to stamp a sentiment, and surprise, surprise, hello Carol, surprise, surprise, I'm going to use the photopolymer version for this, and I'm going to use You've Got a Friend in Me. Nope. There. So yes, so I stamped the shape in red rubber, and I'm doing photopolymer for this. I am going to, you know, switch between them. Honest, maybe. And I'm going to stick. Well, am I going to stick with? No, I am. I'm going to stick with Tuxedo Black. So while you are watching, if you're enjoying what you see, a thumbs up is always appreciated. I will stamp this the right way up. If you don't already subscribe, by all means, please do. I would be thrilled. If you're really enjoying what you're seeing, you can share it. I'm an overachiever, am I? Okay. Maybe. So yes, by all means share the video. Sharing is caring, as they say. If you're watching on replay and you've got any questions or comments, you can leave those below the description bar. And because this is my job, obviously if there is anything that you want and you are in the UK or one of our European countries, too many dimensionals, but never mind, by all means shop with me or join. That's even better. Oh, thank you, Shaz. Shaz has done her thumbs up. So I was making swaps for tomorrow earlier today, if that is grammatically correct. So I'm sort of putting it vaguely square to the paper, only vaguely, and vaguely straight apparently. Right, let's have a look at what I've got in my embellishment tin that I can use. Oh, I could use those. Let's use some in-colour dots. Again, if there are any ribbons or embellishments that you love, now is a I'll come back to that. Yes, now is again the moment to buy them. I couldn't lift a fork today. Thank you, Gwen, for the thumbs up. Oh, not again. COVID, no. Pam says, oh, forgot thumbs up, but now done. Shaz, good. Hi. Oh, yes, how is everyone, Shaz? Good question, Carol. Margaret's done her thumbs up. Right, so I've got the in-colour dots. I could go mad and use the sweet sorbet, but there are limits. I was thinking I could use the lighter Tahitian Tide because that is very close to Pool Party. So let's see, where do I... No, I'll put a little one over there, I think. So I'm going to put one there. I'm going to put a little baby one there. Oop, there. And another little baby one. Come on. No, I think I will put it... Oh, actually, I'm going to put it up there. And then I'm going to put some green. I've only got 3 of the green left, so actually I'm going to see if I can get them off with my sticky end. Yes, maybe. And have 3 more. So I know this makes 6, but they're 2 lots of 3, not 6. Does that make sense? So this is to tie that frog in a little bit. No, I'm going to come down here. So this is an expensive card because I've put embellishments on dimensionals. COVID is sweeping through family again. Oh no. Oh no. That's not good. Feel better soon. Apparently it's going through our village, but so far, fingers crossed, touching wood, we'll be all right. Although we were at a village meeting yesterday, so who knows. So that is my first card. It's almost straight, not quite, but jolly nearly. So that's using one of the new elegant borders. I have got one of the other elegant borders to use as well, but I'm going to use my Pool Party piece this time, and hopefully that's big enough to go on a... Yes, it is. Good, because I'm actually going to cover the front of my card with it. So this time I'm going to see if I can switch and use the photopolymer for the stamping and the red rubber for the what I mean stamping for the shape, and then the red rubber for the sentiment. Now, confession time. Thank you, Gwen. It's a quick, easy, just fun card. My red rubber of this is not the stamps aren't square to the sentiments, to the stickers, so I have had to do a bit of adjustment. So who knows. Now, for those of you who are new to me, brand new stamps I always rub either with my hand or an eraser, so that, particularly the photopolymer, so that the finish that's put on them in the factory to stop them sticking to the mould is taken off. What isn't taken off necessarily is the piece of fluff. Yep, that's probably floating from me. So And for those of you who are concerned, yes, I am going to fussy cut. Hello, Wendy! Right, let's make sure that is on. Yes, I haven't done any fussy cutting for a while, so I thought I would. Is that strictly true? Can't even remember. No, I don't think I have. I think I've been using things with dyes. Let's uncover that. So that's the one we've just made. So this is not too tricky a shape to fussy cut. It's going to get interesting round where they're bumping wings. Oh, hence goosebumps. I was wondering why we had a sentiment that said goosebumps, because that's not my idea of a goosebump. Oh, there's a question. So bearing in mind we have maybe still an Australian with us, unless she's managed to go back to sleep, which would be a good idea at 2 o'clock in the morning. But we have some Americans and some Canadians with us. So here's a question. Goosebump. In the UK, that means when your skin kind of goes lumpy, when you're kind of going, ooh, that gave me goosebumps. Does that translate? So have they actually taken a British sort of saying and put it on a stamp set, or does it work in North America as well, or indeed in Australia? Quite often goosebumps are associated with when you're cold, but it may just be that sort of shivery feeling that gives you goosebumps. So yes, does goosebumps translate? Does it work in all parts of the world? All those that are represented here anyway. So you will have noticed that I have started with the easier shapes and I'm going on to the less straightforward shapes. There is method in my madness. It's much easier to do your easier shapes first, because then you're not worried that you're bending your difficult shapes or trickier shapes, fiddlier shapes. Am I going to go in and cut each leg separately? I don't think so. I think I'm going to leave those attached. So this is where, if I was doing a reel, I would do this at about 5 times normal speed, because it's not the most exciting thing to watch. Let's not break its neck. Same in the US, okay. Same in Canada. That's what it means to us in the States. I'm thinking stamp set isn't BC. They are bumping hands. Yeah. Like fist thumps. Yeah. Jan likes a good fussy cut. I think I have managed to indoctrinate Jan into enjoying fussy cutting. Jan is one of my team. There are a couple of them on today because Pam's with us and Wendy's with us, as well as Jan. Certainly as far as I'm aware, as in people who are interacting in the chat. So again, I'm going to leave the feet attached. Was it Oscar Wilde who said the US and the UK are two nations separated by a foreign language, by the same language? And Wales. Did I say England? Oh, you mean it's the same in Wales? Yes. Fussy cutting will never get shares. Okay. Right, so I'm going to have that on there. And again, all I'm going to colour are their beaks and their feet. So I'm going to go light Daffodil Delight for their beaks and dark Daffodil Delight for their feet. Yes, because we do have differences between the nations. So there are some things that you can say without any issue in England, but in other parts of the UK, they can be rude. So, yeah. And I say that even differences between different parts of England. So that's going to go there, and I'm thinking I want that. That's what I want. So this is the Pool Party Grosgrain ribbon from the mini catalogue. So let me grab my card base. Again, this is going to be quite a simple card. I think when you're looking at cartoon styles, oh, thank you, Kay. She's not in my team, but she's a huge fan of my channel. Bless. What was I saying? Oh yes, when you're looking at cartoon images, I don't think you want to overload your card. So I'm just going to trim this down. It should be 10.5. It is. That's all right then. Now this is going to be a really fuzzy cut because once you've embossed, the card fibres break down. So this is going to be fuzzy. It's not because there's anything wrong with my blade. It's because it's fuzzy. It's because it's embossed. And I'm going into the embossed piece rather than starting at the end, because again, it's already had its fibres broken. I've been cruel to my card. So I'm just going to defuzz. And there is quite a lot of fuzz coming off. I'm not sure I'm going to be doing any gardening after this. And to see what happens. I mean, it's been such a ridiculous day today, weather-wise. So hopefully... Gosh, it's almost like it was cut to size. It wasn't, but it's almost like it was. I'm going to go liquid, I think. I'm going to be reasonably generous, as much as anything, because with this heavy amount of embossing, and this is one of the kind of lumpiest embossing folders, it's always a bit of a challenge as to whether or not the adhesive is going to be where you need it, because what you want is the adhesive to be on the raised surface of the embossing. So it can be interesting trying to get it all glued. There we go. And of course what I should have done is put the ribbon on first. Doesn't matter. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Shaz. That's very kind. Shazzy is very kind. Right, okay, so we're going to have that there. And then, I mean, it's got to be Goosebumps, really, hasn't it? Yeah, it's got to be Goosebumps. So I think what I'm going to do, because I do want to use this, I think I'm just going to do an exaggerated bow. It's one of my favourite embossing folders, Sherry. It's just, if you don't know which embossing folder to use, then it's that one. as far as I'm concerned. So yes, exaggerated bow, so that they've got something to stand on. And that's the joy of this ribbon, is that you can do a really exaggerated bow. I will trim the ends, but yeah, because I don't particularly like things just hanging in midair. I mean, the alternative is I put them down there, but I kind of want them front and centre. So I'm going to start by getting those in place. This is going to be an expensive card to post. It's not going to be an expensive card, it's just going to be an expensive card to post. Because with embossing and Hujima flips, dimensionals, that's the word I'm seeking. We could end up in large letter territory in the UK. I am overdoing the dimensionals. Just. Right, that should do. Okay. Then I will do the... Ooh, there's a thought. I might heat emboss. Hello, Carol. Yeah, we've got about 20 minutes left, probably, because I normally do about an hour for my lives. So this is the card that I made first, which, depending on what device you're watching on, may or may not be visible, because it's... If you're watching on your phone, it probably won't be terribly visible. Right, so that's that. Then my bow's going to go there, which I'm going to stick on with blue dots. Yep. It really does look set wet. So yes, for those of you who were catching what I was saying earlier, hubby has got a cold, and the last cold I got from him, I was not at all well. So I've moved upstairs, which is fine, except our upstairs is right in the eaves of the house, and because we've had lots of wind and weather, it's quite noisy up there. It's confusing the cats no end. They don't know which room to go to, because they like sleeping with us, not with one of us, with us. So they've actually managed to work out between them that one of them's upstairs with me and one of them's downstairs with hubby. So they're sharing themselves out. And then the boy is where the boy is always, in his bed in the kitchen, because he likes his food, so he very rarely goes anywhere far from it. Right, okay, so we're going to have Goosebumps, but let's photopile them out. I'm going to use my red rubber, Goosebumps, and I'm going to try and stamp it straight, but I'm going to heat emboss it so it's shiny. So let's move those out of the way. Let's grab a piece of card that should be big enough. And a block would always be a plan. So this is where I say that, oh yeah, I really haven't done well on that. So this is quite high up, so I'm going to be stamping higher. I'm going to go further up, no, further down than I think I need to go. So it may look a bit odd when I stamp, because this is higher on the stamp than almost straight. I'm gonna go for that. It may be that it's not going to be terribly visible once it's heat embossed. Oh no, I think it might be alright. Sometimes with the very small words, they can end up melting together. but I think we might get away with it. So there we go, and then I am going to do one last very quick card. Not that any of them have exactly been slow. Hello, Beverly. Goosebumps. Do remember that your embossing will be damp for a while after you have finished heating it, and I am just going to cut it. Call me old-fashioned, straight would be nice. One extreme to the other. Oh, for pity's sake. That's a bit better, or a little less bad, I think is probably what I'm trying to say. Right. Don't like it. Doesn't work. It's too dark. Right, so let me try that again. And this time I'm going to use Pool Party. It was just too black. So I'm going to use Pool Party. Right, so it's not straight. It'll do. It's not perfect, but it'll do. It's a bit high up on the piece of card, but still not capable of cutting straight. That's the crooked one. Right. Okay. Now I'll give you 3 guesses as to which. There. As to which. That's the crooked one, so that's where I want the dimensionals. Which embellishment am I going to use, do you suppose? So say 3 guesses. Hello, Jan. It's the joy of YouTube that you do have the opportunity to catch up. Right, so there's a bit of a Pool Party overload, but that's all right. And I'm going to use Elegant Faceted Gems. And I'm going to use the shiny ones, as in the clear ones, because that way they will pick up what's going on in the background. And I'm going to do little clusters. Don't want it to look like it's having an egg. So there we are, that is that card. Thank you, Shaz. It is just fun. It's really quick, really fun. Yeah. Right, okay, so I'm going to go back to red rubber, and I'm going to go with our balloon birthday. I'm going to use a, I might use the same, yeah, that works. So I'll pop that there, possibly a D block, yes, right. So this is red rubber, this was the last one was photopolymer, and the first one was red rubber, and I will do a quick look at which I think gives the best result. For me, as a general rule, I like red rubber for more intricate images. Oh, thank you, Gian. Yes, hello, Leslie. I'm glad people enjoy the lives. So I'm going to die cut this and then colour it. So yes, for me, the choice would always be if there was an intricate image, or, you know, like a distinctive image or a fine line image, I would go red rubber, and everything else I'm very happy to do photopolymer. So I think it's interesting that they're giving us the option on a few. I'm not convinced that everybody realises that there is an option. And I think a lot of people have ordered one purely because it was the first number they came to. So, yeah. Do be careful when you're using your, particularly your mini, but on your big one as well. If you are cutting something like a frame where you get that kick, do make sure you're holding on to the handle, because otherwise you can end up with quite a bruise. Ask me how I know, because it will suddenly go bing. That's a technical phrase, obviously. Right, okay, we have colours that we can still use. So I'm going to use red, as in Sweet Sorbet. I'm going to stick with my light Daffodil Delight beak, my dark Daffodil Delight feet, and then the rest I'll make up from there. So, and then I will have a look at the images and see whether I can see pros and cons. Obviously for sentiments, so much easier if they're photopolymer, because you can see where you're stamping. But, which is a reason to have just images in one and sentiments in another, but I don't know that I would, yeah, it would just be a difficult choice, I think, for me. So this is the light Sweet Sorbet, yeah. And I will grab my colour lifter as well. Ding, 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 ding. Right, so let's give it. So again, I'm going to limit the colours. Colour lifter. The colour lifter is really good for adding shape. So we can have that shiny bit, because balloons tend to have a shiny bit. And then add a bit of a shadow over here with the dark. So that's our little goose. And there's only that one that I've got left. No. So I'm going to grab some Sweet Sorbet. So I'm going to have him on a Sweet Sorbet layer. And we're going to have, in photopolymer, a silly ghost told me it's your, a silly ghost? Goose told me it's your birthday. Which is this one. Now, I would not ever, unless I'm using my Stamparatus, use a red rubber, well no, I have on occasions, unless I'm really confident that I know that everything's lined up, I would not use red rubber sentiments on something that I've just coloured. I think all the greeting stamps should all be red rubber for seeing where to line up. You mean you think they should be, the greeting stamps should be photopolymer? To see where they'd line up, I think. Right, I'm going to go sweet sorbet for my sentiment, so we're going to do red overload. I am going to just grab a scrappity scrap. Make sure it's stamping well, which it is, because it's the first time I have stamped with it. And then I can pop that there. A silly goose told me it's your birthday. So that's going to go on a layer. Ooh. Actually, I mean it is, but I'm going to do a funny size layer. Ooh, I know what I'm looking for. Can't find it. Yes, I can. I am going to go sweet sorbet, but I'm going to use the pattern paper as well. So what I'm going to do is I would normally cut my layers at 3 5/8. So I'm going to do that, and this piece I'm going to use on the card, because I get a little frustrated with card being, with the papers that are 6 by 6, because it feels almost wasteful. Yes, I thought you meant photopolymer, and I totally agree. I think the sentiments should be in photopolymer and everything else should be in red rubber. So I'm going to stick that onto there, and then I will trim it down. So what I find interesting in a strange sort of way, so I do often, generally, mostly, force myself to buy stamp sets that are not things that I would naturally be drawn to, like this one, because I like the challenge of then using them and making myself use them. That's fuzzy. Maybe I do need to change my blade. I have just done a lot of swaps. That's a bit fuzzy as well. There we go. Right, so that's going to go there, and then that's going to go there. The question is, do I? Now this is a really odd thing. So actually that works on that, because this is, or does it? This is the Sweet Sorbet metallic ribbon. It's pink. Yeah, it is Sweet Sorbet. It's pink. So I won't be doing that. Let's pop that back in its little hole. And I could use that. Let's use some of that. So I'll use some of this with, let me just grab, is it up there? Yes. I've done it on this before. Right, so I'm going to take my dark Sweet Sorbet and colour my white crinkled seam binding with Sweet Sorbet, because I want that red. And the only Sweet Sorbet ribbon we've got is that metallic. That's far too much, but that's fine. If I do more, I can then do a little knot. So yes, the Sweet Sorbet metallic ribbon is not, in my humble opinion, Sweet Sorbet. So I'm just going to dry that. This you can clean with just rubbing alcohol. Let's get my heat tool. Give it a little encouragement. This is on the first setting. Yeah, it's not, is it? Hello, Nora. So pleased that Nora got the parcel that I have been trying to send her for ages. So Nora is in Ireland. She's one of my team in Ireland. And I sent her a parcel. I was trying to send her a parcel at the point where the Royal Mail overseas computer thing was having an issue. I think it was hacked. And so I had to wait for weeks until I could send it. And then I hadn't put the right thing on it because of customs. Bloody Brexit. So I ended up having it returned to me after about 3 weeks. And finally, it's got to her. Right, so I know I've got masses of ribbon, but I'm thinking because I've got masses, I might have enough to tie a little knot. As in a fake knot. Might not have enough. Snips, there we are. If you could see the state of my desk now, it is dreadful. That doesn't look straight. Oh, it is though. Right, okay, so let's put some more adhesive over that. Then that just makes sure it's well and truly stuck. Green glue. I will have to trim the very bottom, but that's fine. So I'll just do a scribble of glue. But one thing I have discovered in sending something to Nora is that there is a customs code for scrapbook paper. I mean, you know, because that's an important thing. Who would have believed it? I looked up paper. I was doing a search for paper and I got office paper, toilet paper, all sorts of things. And I thought, I wonder if there's anything for craft supplies. No. Sequins, can do sequins. Scrapbook paper. There is a code for scrapbook paper. And that was what was missing. And Nora is delighted. Right, so again, snips. This I will stick on with dimensionals and I'll then work out where that extra bit of ribbon's going to go, if indeed, yeah, it's big enough. It is big enough. Right, let's not be quite so generous with the dimensionals this time. Don't think it needs it. And then this, we can tuck in under there. We can. There we go. One of the things when you colour your white crinkle ribbon with blends, it becomes a bit stiffer, which is actually quite nice because as a ribbon on its own, it's a bit staticky. But once you put blends through it, it's much easier to deal with. Right, okay, again, snips. That's those bits, like that. And as I've got my elegant faceted gems out, and as I've got 3 of the white ones left, let's use those on our card. Again, I'm going to make sure it doesn't look like she is laying an egg because I think that's a bit on the nose really. So where are my cards? There they are. So let's clear the decks a bit and have a look at the differences. So, red rubber, photopolymer, frankly, can't see any difference at all. If anything, the photopolymer has stamped better, which is surprising. That was red rubber and that was photopolymer, and again I would say the photopolymer, probably because it's not squished so much, because I wasn't using it on a mat, I was just using it straight. So I think it depends on how you're using them. Interesting. So there we are. Those are our 3 cards using Silly Goose. That one's definitely not straight. I may have to do a bit of lifting. Anyway, let me flip the camera up. Let me get my ink pads out of the way because I've got a light jumper on. Don't really want ink. It's not the ink pads, it's the stamps. Let me transition to that. Thank you, Gian. So, thank you very, very much. Oh, thank you, Sherry. Thank you, both Sherrys, in fact. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you missed the beginning, you can catch it on replay. Do remember, if you're watching on replay, you can leave a comment below the description bar. I'm up to date with comments, just saying. So please do. Thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't already. I've recorded my video for Simple Stamping Saturday. I've just got to write the blog post, which I should get done today. So, for once in my life, I'm ahead. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, bless you, Shaz. Thank you very much indeed. I will look forward to seeing you again live on Tuesday, maybe, for those of you for whom the time works, and otherwise next week. Thank you, Jan. So until then, bye for now.